And so many of us have felt that along the journey, either about our counterparts or even about ourselves. We're not the versions of ourselves that we once knew, and we're not meant to be. We're meant to continue to evolve. We're meant to continue to expand. And we're meant to even surprise ourselves within that expansion, within that evolution. Life is meant to surprise us. And that's what it means to trust in our soul's journey. That's what it means to trust in our soul's path. The more that we are opening up to every potential and releasing the fixed mindset of what we think the journey needs to be or what we think the journey needs to look like, the more we're actually opening up to all these potentials and trusting in the guidance of our soul. But the soulmate path is all about exploring all potentials, and it's not taking away from your twin flame. It's not taking away from the sacred union journey. It's enhancing it, because the soulmates, whether it's platonic or romantic, everybody who comes into your reality now is going to be a reflection of the growth that you have acquired. And it's going to be about trusting in your soul to have the blueprint rather than letting your ego decide and dictate what that blueprint needs to be. Up until a certain point along your journey, you have been going along with the old paradigm. You've been going along with the ego driven kind of lower self energy of what you think the journey needs to be as it unfolded. And part of your learning and growth along the journey has been learning to trust in your intuition, learning to trust in your soul, learning to trust in your higher self to guide the journey rather than what you think it needs to be. We channel, the way that we teach it is that there's two kind of phases. There's the twin flame journey, which is a cycle in and of itself, which is healing the triggers and the frictions and becoming aware of the journey itself and aware of your ascension, aware of yourself. And then there is the twin soul journey. It could be the same person, it could be the same journey, but you're moving out of what I call the twin flame matrix, where it doesn't have a hold on you anymore. You're not in that pain, you're not in that obsession, you're not in that fixation anymore. You're open to possibilities, you're open to potential, you've opened your heart. You've moved into what I call the higher heart ascension. And so I try to label it differently, the twin flame and then the twin soul. It's one and the same. It's still the twin flame journey, sacred union, path of ascension, whatever label you prefer to use it. It's just a different energy that you're in because you have shifted yourself. You have shifted the patterns, you have shifted the templates, you have shifted yourself. And so you are now in this higher energy, recognizing yourself as the empowered creator that you are. You're recognizing yourself as the soul that you are, and so you're allowing that soul to let your journey unfold in whatever way that it wants, in beautiful ways, rather than being so limited in my twin flame journey or my sacred union has to happen in this way. Because you're remembering that sacred union is always part of you. All you're doing or all you have been doing is clearing the illusion of that separation. So join us for the Soul Path workshop. We'll have some exercises as well as a light language transmission for higher heart opening, as well as talking about what the soulmate path actually is, what it means, how it's not anything to be afraid of, but that it is something that just helps you to expand yourself and reflect the beautiful healing and transformation that you have done. It is about trusting your soul. And this path is about trusting the path of the soul. That is all the sacred union journey is. It's the path of the soul. It's your homecoming back to yourself. And you're trusting your intuition to guide you versus the ego that says it has to look like this. And you don't have to apply that just to your sacred union journey. It could be to anything. Your job, where you're meant to live, relationships outside of your twin flame connection, for example. It is all about trusting where you're being guided, trusting the soul to guide that, to have the blueprint. Your ego doesn't have the blueprint. It just thinks it does because the ego is operating on an old system. It's operating on an old energy. It's like a computer system. It's like you have a brand new Mac, but you're still operating on version 2.0. And here, your soul is like, well, here we've got 8.0. Are you ready to level up? That's what your soul is saying. Are you ready to expand? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to shift? Are you really ready to transform? That's what we're doing here is we are shifting out of that old template and moving into that new soul-guided paradigm. To trust in all potentials and trust in the unraveling. Look what just fell out, door to romance. Yeah, and remember, romance is an energy. You hold that energy within yourself, and then it's just reflected as an expression of love. Romance is an expression of love, and that expression is who you are. And when you're experiencing romance in your physical relationship, you're experiencing that expression of yourself. So, how I always say, how are you romancing yourself? How are you loving yourself? How are you being intimate with yourself? And I'm not talking sexually or physically intimate, I'm talking emotionally intimate. How are you taking care of yourself, holding yourself in your own container of your own masculine? If you want to meet a conscious masculine, or if you want your counterpart to be the conscious masculine, are you holding the energy of the conscious masculine within yourself so that that can be reflected through your counterpart? Because your counterpart is going to be your greatest mirror. So check out the Soulmate Path workshop. Check out the Unity Code book, which comes out in 2 weeks. So make sure that you are ordering it or pre-ordering it, because we are going to go deeper into these teachings with everything that we offer.